There's a level of habit control so extreme. It looks inhuman. Not willpower for a week. Not I quit for 30 days. I mean the level where your addiction loses its grip because there's nothing left to grab onto. And today you'll discover how one man in Japan mapped this out 400 years ago, without therapy talk, without motivation speeches, without hacks. Have you ever met someone who doesn't bargain with themselves? They don't say, just one more and then I quit. I'll start tomorrow. They don't negotiate. They execute. People call them disciplined, or lucky, or genetically gifted. But the truth is darker. They paid a price most people refuse to pay. In Miyamoto Musashi's world, hesitation meant death, and because the stakes were absolute, he developed a method that doesn't rely on motivation. It relies on elimination. Musashi wrote this method down in the Book of 5 Rings, and hidden inside it is the scariest level of breaking bad habits and addiction. You don't fight the craving. You remove the conditions that allow the craving to exist. Before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment. What's the one habit or addiction you want to eliminate first? Scroll addictions, sugar, nicotine, alcohol, procrastination, whatever it is. Now, back to the video. Chapter 1. The man with high standards and low control. Ethan was 29. On the outside, he looked like a person who had it together. Good job, smart, ambitious. But his private life was a loop. Every night he promised, "Tomorrow I'll stop scrolling the whole day." Every morning he believed it. And every evening, the same thing happened. He'd tell himself he would only check his phone for 5 minutes. 2 hours later, he was still scrolling. He'd swear he was done with late-night snacking. Then just one became the whole thing. And the worst part wasn't the habit. It was what the habit was doing to his identity. He started saying, "I'm just the kind of person who can't change." That's the most dangerous addiction of all. The story. Then one day, Ethan got the warning shot. Not a dramatic collapse, just something worse. A quiet moment where he realized his life was being stolen in inches. He was in a meeting. Someone asked him a simple question, and his mind went blank. Not because he was stupid, because he was fried. Dopamine spikes, sleep debt, constant stimulation. He went home and stared at his phone like it was a weapon pointed at his face. "I'm not in control," he whispered. "I'm being controlled." So he searched for answers. Chapter 2. Why motivation fails, and why Musashi never used it. Ethan found everything. 10 hacks. Try this app. Replace the habit. Visualize your future self. It worked for 2 days. Then the craving came back with the same question. "Are you sure?" And Ethan always answered like a weak negotiator. "I'll stop after this." That's when he stumbled on Musashi. Not a cute quote page. A line that hit him like a slap. Musashi didn't teach build willpower. He taught remove dependence. In battle, you don't pray for perfect conditions. You train so conditions don't matter. And Ethan realized his discipline depended on perfect conditions. He could resist cravings only when he was rested. He could focus only when life was calm. He could behave only when nothing triggered him. So he decided to stop trying to become motivated and start becoming undependent. Chapter 3. The first elimination. Remove the trigger, not the craving. Musashi wrote about not relying on any particular weapon. Ethan translated that into modern life. If my self-control relies on my mood, I'm weak. So he did something that sounds simple, but feels terrifying. He built a rule that removed negotiation. I do not bring the enemy into my house. For him, that meant phone stayed outside the bedroom, social media deleted from the device, late-night snacks stopped being purchased. The relapse doorway got physically removed. Because here's the brutal truth. You can't keep poison in your pocket and call it discipline when you don't drink it. The first week, Ethan felt angry, not sad. angry, because his brain had lost its toy. And that anger revealed the addiction's real nature. It wasn't pleasure. It was dependence. Chapter 4. The Still Mind. Cravings are weather, not commands. Musashi wrote about a mind that doesn't change in battle, a mind as calm during war as during tea. Ethan tried the modern version. When a craving rose, he didn't fight it. He watched it. He named it like weather. Restlessness, boredom, tension in chest, heat in the face, urgency, just observation. The first time he did it, it felt like torture. His body screamed, "Do something, escape, scroll, eat, watch." He did nothing. He breathed and watched. And something frightening happened. The craving peaked and then fell, like a wave. Ethan had never seen that before because he always obeyed before the peak. He realized cravings are not orders, they are sensations. If you don't react, they pass. And every time you watch one pass, you teach your nervous system, we don't run anymore. Chapter 5. The Scariest Rule. Never zero. Here's the level most people won't accept. Musashi's system doesn't allow break days to become break lives. So Ethan adopted the warrior rule. Never zero. If he couldn't do a workout, he did 1 set. If he couldn't meditate 10 minutes, he did 60 seconds. If he had a bad day, he still protected the boundary. Because addiction doesn't win by overpowering you. It wins by making you stop showing up. Ethan stopped trying to be impressive. He tried to be unbroken. And within weeks, his identity began to shift. Not because he was strong, because he was consistent under imperfect conditions. That is the beginning of real power. Chapter 6. Zanshin. The relapse happens after the victory. Musashi warned about the moment after the duel. When you think it's over, when you relax, that's when people get killed. Ethan saw it immediately. His relapses didn't happen during struggle. They happened after success, after a productive day. So he practiced Zanshin in modern form. After he resisted a craving, he didn't celebrate. He stayed present for 30 seconds. He asked, "What tried to pull me? What time is it? What emotion was underneath?" He didn't judge himself. He gathered intel like a strategist. Because every addiction has patterns, and patterns can be hunted. Chapter 7. The Void Strategy. Don't try to win. Try not to lose. Musashi's terrifying efficiency wasn't flashy. He didn't win by aggression. He won by leaving no openings. Ethan applied this. He stopped aiming for a perfect life. He aimed for no loopholes, not, "I'll never feel tempted," but, "When I'm tempted, I have a protocol," not, "I'll become a new person overnight," but, "I will not give the addiction an entry point." That's the scariest level. You don't build a heroic personality. You build a life with no gaps. Chapter 8. The Final Cut. Abandoning the identity that needs the habit. This is where it gets brutal. Ethan realized the habit wasn't just a habit. It was serving his identity. It was his escape valve, his excuse. So he made the final elimination. He stopped using the habit to manage emotions. He faced them. Boredom without stimulation, stress without escape, loneliness without numbing. And that's when the addiction started to die. Not because he fought it, but because he no longer needed it. He didn't quit a thing. He quit being the person who depended on that thing. That's the scariest level. When people ask, "How did you break it?" your answer becomes, "I didn't break it. I outgrew it." Final. The question Musashi would ask you. Musashi didn't leave a comfortable path. He left a demanding one. Eliminate dependence. Train under imperfect conditions. Watch cravings without reacting. Never zero. Close loopholes. Abandon the identity that needs escape. Now the question isn't, can you do this? The question is, are you willing to pay the price of freedom? Because breaking bad habits isn't hard. What's hard is accepting that comfort is the addiction's greatest weapon. If this video hit you, subscribe and tell me in the comments. What's the first addiction you will eliminate, and what loophole will you close today? Remember, strength that scares your addiction is the only strength worth having. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video.